Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming here with season 3 of MW2 and Warzone 2, we are of course going to see a ton of content updates in the form of new maps, new weapons, new operators, a new battle pass, all the standard stuff there. But more importantly, with season 3, we are going to see some gameplay updates, some changes, and some fixes across the board. And as we've said countless times already, content is fun, content is awesome and cool, and gives you something to grind for, but ultimately the content doesn't matter if the gameplay is not good. And so far we actually have a ton of confirmed gameplay changes, gameplay fixes, gameplay updates of various types, and today we're breaking down all of those. This information is primarily stemming from the Raven and Infinity Ward Trello boards, but also some of the initial reveal blog that we got for Call of Duty season 3 as well across MW2 Warzone 2 and DMZ. Let's start first though real quick on the Raven Trello board, focusing on the battle royale issues. We've got a handful of things that are listed here. Some are a little bit newer, some are a little bit older, but it's always possible we see any of these fixed at any point in time. So initially here, the heavy chopper has been MIA for quite some time. It's been actually removed from solos specifically, and then the game a little bit after that, since like early December. So it's been a while since we've seen it in some gameplay. It is currently still listed on the Trello board being disabled while they investigate a way to balance it out, where it was like a super crutch option at the end of matches, where if you were in a helicopter and you were in the heavy chopper specifically floating above that end circle, you kind of had like constant protection and a crazy vantage point over everyone, right? So they didn't like that crutch. They took it out and just haven't re-added it back in fully yet. So that is a potential fix coming here with season 3. We also have seen Bird's Eye removed from the game for some time, unless of course you had the option for custom perk packages before they added in custom perk packages, in which case Bird's Eye is still glitched and available for you. But for everyone else, which is the majority of the player base, Bird's Eye not available. We do know for a fact that with season 3 we're going to have perk packages available to loot and find in the buy stations as well. So it's possible that maybe Bird's Eye is going to return with that. They did remove it to again balance this one out. No word on if this one specifically is returning or if it's going to be some of the already standard perks that we have in the game now that are available to loot and buy. But regardless, Bird's Eye does have a chance to return as well. One of the newer issues that we actually saw like post season 2 reloaded was the whole downed infill glitch, where some players actually spawn at the start of the game in the pre-game lobby as a downed player. Then the second the game starts, they're downed in the intro plane, and then they fall out and die. So obviously a very big issue. They fixed it for the most part, but there's still like the one-off cases of it happening. It's not fully fixed. So that's another thing that is listed here on the Trello board. Private match lobbies in Warzone currently have an issue where they do not populate correctly. So they are aware of that and investigating that. That should be fixed here. Also with buy stations, there are certain glitches and exploits related to those. Sometimes you can get stuck in the buy station itself. Sometimes if you buy streaks, they fall through the buy station. Other times you can cheese things and buy options that are not supposed to be available past like one limited stock. So there's a handful of problems there that they are all investigating, and hopefully those will all be resolved here with season 3. Then we move on over into the Modern Warfare 2 Trello board, and here we got a handful of things listed as well between multiplayer, DMZ, and just global stuff as well. Let's shift focus over to multiplayer here real quick. There's not a ton here, but there are some things to keep in mind. They confirm they have a fix incoming where hardcore in private matches doesn't actually take away the HUD, so you still have all the standard HUD elements available there. If you're going for screenshots as like a YouTuber or a creator, or if you just want to play with no HUD on, you can't do that in private match right now. They are also investigating the issue of irregular animations and behavior of tac sprint in private matches specifically. They're aware of an issue where changing attachments mid kill cam could basically destroy your frame rate and cause you to be super stuttery. That one's been here for a while and still is not fully fixed. Also in ranked play, there's been some updates to the in-lobby top 250 placement icon number that may be delayed some. They're basically just going to try and make it so that it's not always that delayed. Then we shift on into DMZ, and again, there's not a ton going on here, but what we do have listed is pretty important. They are aware of an issue where insured weapons are not always equipped when loading into a match. So you could bring an insured weapon into the game and it's just not there. You have an empty hand essentially, and you have no gun whatsoever. Obviously a major glitch that again has been quote unquote fixed at some times for some players, but ultimately is not universally working as intended yet, so they're still investigating that. they are aware of an issue where after a match, players can become stuck on the downloading instance inventory message, and that'll disconnect you from your party. It's a minor inconvenience, but an inconvenience nonetheless. They're also investigating reports of unusual AI combatant behavior, basically where the bots are just wildly overpowered. This is one that a lot of players are pretty annoyed with in DMZ, so hopefully this one is finally fixed here in Season 3 as well. They keep saying they're nerfing the bots in DMZ, and after every single one of those quote-unquote nerfs, the bots are actually stronger. So either the bots are retaliating and the AI is self-aware, or they're not giving the proper updates to the bots in the back end. Now, as we move on into the global issues across MW2, Warzone 2, and DMZ, quick reminder, if you guys are new here, every day I'm your one-stop shop for all things going on in COD, news, updates, the meta, all sorts of stuff like that you'll find right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us on the road to 1 million subs. And if you guys enjoy the video, if you're excited for Season 3, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Would be really appreciated. Now, underneath the global issues here, there is an issue with Gunsmith where trying to unlock the mastery camos can sometimes become problematic if you're trying to skip certain weapons. Maybe you're trying to replace a launcher with one of the new rifles, or any situation like that. There are issues where even though you have the required amount of camos done to move on to the next threshold of Polyatomic or Orion, it'll get stuck there and it doesn't actually progress. So they are aware of that issue. There's also an issue where if you change the fire mode on the M16, it's not reflected on the UI. Very small update, very small issue there, but it's going to be fixed nonetheless. They're aware of an issue where some players can't progress attachments on the ISO Hemlock. Obviously a very big issue considering the Hemlock is a top tier meta weapon right now, so that should be updated here soon. They're aware of an issue and investigating an issue following the latest update to Polyatomic where basically it's just not displaying as intended. It's got like random black glitches throughout it. It's like black lines go and pierce through the middle of the camo, and it's supposed to be like that sort of solid all purple now, so that should be updated here soon. And then lastly, they have a guaranteed fix incoming with the double kill challenge tracking. A lot of players are saying their double kills are not accurately being tracked right now, so they're going to go through and fix that so you don't have to worry about those issues anymore moving forward on those challenges in specific. Now, as mentioned, we do have a handful of other confirmed gameplay updates outside of the Trello board. This is coming from the initial Season 3 reveal blog from Call of Duty, and again, this is sort of like all compiled stuff together, so I'm sure if you guys watched that video, you're well aware of this stuff. But for those who are unaware, Al Mazrah is going to be receiving redeployed drones at long last, so you'll be able to navigate across the map and rotate across the map a bit quicker now. The tempered plate carrier is coming to Battle Royale, which obviously is tempered from Warzone 1. You're able to fill up your max armor with 2 plates instead of 3. UAV towers from DMZ are making their way into standard Battle Royale, so you'll be able to ping those and get those small UAV pings just in close proximity to the actual tower itself. And then in season, with the reloaded update in Season 3.5, we're going to see a handful of other gameplay updates. Decontamination stations from Warzone 1 are returning, so you'll be able to throw those down in the gas and actually survive in that small little decontaminated zone. Perk packages are going to be able to be found obviously in loot and the buy stations, as we mentioned earlier when talking about Bird's Eye. It's possible to have various updates for that. The deployable buy stations, where you can actually throw it down at any place on the map and use a buy station there, is also going to be returning. And then lastly, the Gulag entry kit, which is basically a Gulag token from Warzone 1, where if you go to the Gulag, you win yours or you lose yours, and then you get bought back or you come back into the match. You can find a Gulag entry token, and then you'll be able to have a chance at a second Gulag or a third or a fourth, so on and so forth until the Gulag is closed. So just keeping your lives up there is pretty nice as well. So a lot of pretty promising gameplay updates, a lot of much needed fixes. Of course, this is not every single gameplay update and gameplay patch note that'll be included with Season 3. The full patch notes are going to be much more lengthy and include a lot more details. So once those drop, you guys already know I'm gonna have you covered with that intel right as it happens. So stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in COD. Make sure you are subscribed with those noties turned on. And if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. But that is effectively going to wrap things up for this one. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.